Hello, Christina Resso. Thanks for tuning in to this video. Hope you all are doing well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So, earlier in my podcast, I mentioned in one of the news that I came across a Christian Post. They got some interesting stories and also come across a lot of stories about the persecuted church, something mainstream doesn't like to talk about. So, it seems that some black pastors are coming out and exposing Margaret Sanger for who she was. She was this eugenics person, and she thought she was disclosing the fact that she wanted to destroy the black race through the abortion and being founder of Planned Parenthood. Perhaps she said this at a Klans rally. Who knows? And the Google images are there in case you don't believe me. Now, the only thing black Americans have to do is to stop overwhelmingly vote for the Democratic Party. So, baby steps over the last 60 years. Again, you got some, well, even including black males talking about, or especially black males talking of not voting for Kamala, but again, I have to see the evidence because I don't see the majority of black Americans voting for Trump. I believe it'll probably be 12% or less of us, just to be honest with you. So again, I have to see it. I don't understand why the number of Christians vote for that left side either, knowing that they hate our faith. But um, I guess they're, looking to man instead of God for help. I don't know. We are in the last days. So I'm just going to read a couple of not quotes, just some background about Margaret Sanger. And there were a couple of black pastors that, actually exposed her and believing a black, thinking that it was, only for whites, that they were pro white babies or something that, because I'm not going to read it, I just vaguely just want to paraphrase. When sin comes in any race, okay? God doesn't discriminate. We're all fallen from Adam, the original sin. So it's still, you know, uh, again, it's still a sin to take a life in this way. I would say, as far as Black America being abortion being the biggest genocide, thinking here, maybe 1800. I don't know if it's a day or a week that actually where these women have abortions. But I'm gonna close with a few things. This back in 1939 with Sanger that sent a letter to the birth control advocate, Dr. Clarence Gamble, describing one of the most controversial campaigns in birth control movement called the Negro Project. Sanger wrote about the need for black ministers to help lead the project and gain trust of, they got African American here, communities, writing, "We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any more of the rebellious members." She also argued that the Planned Parenthood founder merely used language of racist advocacy for birth control, okay, that would classify her views as racist today. So, like exterminating one group, thinking one group is better than the other. And believe it or not, there are blacks that dislike whites that have these same views now. I know they like to just make this one-sided, but there are blacks that are just as hateful with murder in their hearts. Um, so this is 2020. Again, this was back with that protest and thinking that this is a white man's issue when clearly It's a sin problem. Okay. Um, what changed my mind? To backtrack or piggyback is whatever people say. I found out about Margaret Sanger's story, and I was pro-choice at the time. Yeah, I wasn't strong in my Christian faith. I was mostly engaged in, even though I was engaged in the Catholic Church. This was like my last few years in college, and I had to take this human sexuality class. So, despite of all of that, I was still pro-choice. And then, I finally found out how life begins. The zygote has a heartbeat in an eyeball, so it is actually a human life. But I found out about this lady, and I didn't think they didn't show that side of her, the racist side of her. They just showed that, oh, she was just for protecting women from dying from childbirth. In the early 20th century, they really didn't have a lot of medicine or anything. So women had to give birth the natural way. Um, and again, that's all due to the fall. That's no one's fault. But again, going back to the original sin. Um, and that was her excuse of bringing this about, according to the movie that I saw. Now, with the 619 project, I believe it's going to be in the thumbnail on my YouTube channel. I doubt if I can find one, excuse me, for my Rumble one, that they're going to actually make a documentary exposing this lady who she really is, and hopefully it will change a lot of people's, especially the left, that insists that they're not racist in the first place. Christina Red Soul, thanks for listening. Pray for our nation, our brothers and sisters under the persecuted church, and salvation that the Middle East, Israel, and Hamas come to Yeshua as Savior and Lord. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and may his light shine upon you. God willing, I'll talk to you as soon as I can.